On this episode of Blending Bourbon, Dixon and I discuss the importance of blend transparency and specificity.
Blending Bourbon is the podcast that takes you beyond the barrel and behind the scenes of the whiskey industry with master blenders Dixon Dedman and David Mark Young.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of Blending Bourbon. I'm Dixon Dedman, joined by my co-host David Mark Young. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dixon. It's too early for shenanigans.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk. I almost spit my water all over my microphone.
I know, I was going. That was good, and y'all made me laugh. I had more, but I ran out of steam.
Yeah, it's early. It's been a long week.
It's good to see Myerden's lovely face.
Always.
Got to hang with Ben last week, but good to have our kind of my safety blanket back. Welcome back, safety blanket.
Myerden, the safety blanket. Can we call you Whoopi?
Well, appreciate those kind words. There was a little bit of delay, so I didn't get to hear all of it. So
it was all great stuff.
Yeah. But no, I got to see David last week. That was this past Saturday at the Whiskey Fest. That was great to see David again. Once in person. Dixon, I know you're going to be here soon in town soon as well. So looking forward to seeing you in person as well for the first time. That'd be great. But anyway,
how was the Omaha Whiskey Festival as successful as it was last year? And by that I mean, at the end, were there people sitting in chairs with trash cans in front of them, getting sick?
I don't think it was. It was as successful. Even better. It was great. They did a great job. But yeah, there were apparently somebody had to be hauled off by ambulance.
I was there. I did see that.
You see, I heard.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Someone fell and hit their head.
Oh.
Yeah. I have found in my experiences with festivals that you got three types of attendees. One attendee is very specific. They're going because they're looking to engage with a certain brand or certain, I want to go. I'm looking for things that I haven't had. I want to learn something. I want to, I'm here for a reason, for a purpose, for educational value. And then you have the people that are like, this is an excuse to drink all afternoon, and I'm going, the dudes and I are going, this is, we're just gonna make a day of it, and kind of, it's just, and it's a festival. They're there for a festival. They're just kind of and then
collect all the swag, drink all the whiskey.
And then you have that one guy or people that are like, if I do the math right, this ticket cost me $75 and I can consume upwards of 750 to 1,000 milliliters of booze, which makes each one of these little plastic cups worth $1. So I'm getting my money's worth. I am getting after it. I am, I am here for consumption, and those are the people at the towards the end of the festival when they're walking up to the table and they're trying to hold out their glass and they're doing the sway or have to lean against the table to hold themselves up to get, and it's you festival lost on you, buddy.
We definitely had all of the above. And then even the ones that are just first time ever, and it's like a kid in a candy shop. They have never seen that many whiskeys at their ready to go. Just all you got to do is hold your glass out, and they're just off to the races. And yeah,
I also enjoy, you watch the progression. So like the first hour of these things, people are very discerning. They're discussing nuances. You have the spitters. You have the people who are carrying around water to rinse their glass after each pour. And that sometimes transitions to, by the end of it, like you got the hardcore people who are like, oh, you're out. Can I just drink from the spit bucket at your table? Because I'm not quite drunk enough.
I need to top off my infinity bottle.
It's good.
Yeah. That's it, well, and then the progression of, here we go. Let's talk about, your whiskey, all the questions, right? And then you see them later toward the end of the event, and then you're best friends.
Yeah.
And they want to hug you, and they want to touch you, and they want to know your children's names, and it's a good thing those things are limited. I think they do a good job. Last year, it was general admission was 4 hours long, with a VIP session an hour prior to that. So they open the doors, let the VIPs come in, and you get the special bottle behind the table. And then this year they limited it to that first hour, and then only 3 hours for general admission, which I think was a great move by the Omaha Whiskey Festival, because, and you know what else they do a great job of? I just remember last year, Dixon, we were sitting there talking, and next thing you know, boom, 5 o'clock, and that place, just everybody scatters. They kind of run through. It's like the riot police come in, and then boom, it's empty, and they're gone. They shut it down just like that. So well organized, well done. Unfortunately, you're going to get those folks that it's their first time and they overindulge.
I always have a problem at those things, because I just want to talk to people. And you're standing there having a conversation with somebody, and then there's 10 people behind that person that are kind of giving you side eye, because they're like, "Hey, I want to talk." This guy's and then it's like, I want to chat, and then the next thing you know, it's like, you just feel, it's like, I feel like there's, you almost can't like give people the attention you want to give at things when there's that many people.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, hey, how are you? Next. Hey, how are you? Yep, it's nice to see you. Next. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
It's like, I can't, I'm not wired like that. I'm just kind of like, maybe that's what I should do. And like, instead of like a table, I should just take a couch. And just like sit on a couch and just be like, come on, just come in, sit down, let's shoot some shit here. And I would probably end up just sitting there by myself. But
who's the creeper on the couch with the?
Why does that guy have a
half-drank bottle of whiskey?
Yeah,
I find myself looking at everybody. So somebody will come up and they'll ask a question, and there are people that are, either they're uber excited and they want to, have your undivided attention, or they just aren't aware there's 30 people behind them. And so, people crowd around. You get these arms. I've learned that you have to pour and talk. Otherwise, some people, you just lose their interest, and they want their pour.
I've completely learned that I can't pour. They don't. I can't pour and talk. They're like,
it's tough.
We always have people that handle the pouring, and they're just like, Dixon, you just stand out there and do you.
Well, like, I've been accused of being a heavy pourer, so and I definitely don't want people pouring for themselves, but
it's your product. You brought it. You can pour as much as you want.
Yeah.
That's why I had Joel pour mine when I was like, this is the first time I'm trying batch 3, and let Joel pour mine. So it's like, oh yeah, that was. had a chance to try both of your guys' new blends over the whiskey festival. And,
That's right.
Great stuff, man.
Yeah, I texted Dixon at Whiskey Fest. I said, "Man, the 2XO booth is hopping," and he's like, "What? We have a booth there?"
No one on my team had any idea that we were there. That we had
So
a table
then he
there.
FaceTimes me. I walk up to the guy and I'm like, "Hey, tell us about 2XO."
One dude's like, "I'm a volunteer," and the other guy's like, "Yeah, I just started working for the company 3 weeks ago. We both tried it and really liked it." And I was like, "This is great."
What can you tell about? And then they looked at the screen. They're like, "That's the guy.
It's like,
That's the guy."
Well done, team. Really, really provided them with all the education so they could really, they're like, I don't know what this is, but it's the guy's like, "I don't know what this is, but it'll get you tore up." And it's like, that's great. That's the message. That's the
I've
message.
already had half a bottle.
Well,
Yeah.
You had sent me a text. It said, "Hey, I got
did.
something I need to get off my chest." So,
Wait. Which topic was that?
This is your topic. I'm just
I have this burning sensation in the back of my yeah. This is. Sorry to derail. You're good. To continue teeing up. You always do such a great job.
no, you're fine.
Yeah, transparency. I'll just blend transparency and what was the other word that I came up with at whatever time in the morning? Specificity. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Specificity. I and a lot of this comes to mind just my own curiosity about things. I pride myself on product familiarization, not just tasting whiskey, but for years and years and years, just being familiar with product, how much product's on the shelf, what products are on the shelf, what the current packaging looks like, and the details of the labels. I've always paid close attention to that, and the more and more, at least I feel, blended whiskeys, blended bourbons are, NDPs have become more and more accepted. There's still an evolution, and I think at least I've seen lately, as we've scaled out to other markets, we get so many questions on, details of the blends, and I referenced Bardstown Bourbon Company because they're full transparency brand, and I've always appreciated that. Like they put that little chart on the side of the bottle that says exactly what juice is in the bottle. The ratios. I don't know if they put I guess they do X% of this, and here's the mash bill, here's the origin, here's the age and the proof, and then it's just a chart, a little breakdown. And so I've seen more and more of that. I put out these blends, and I have used the term average age, which I've received a little bit of a pushback on that. Average age, what does that mean? I mean, to me, that's breaking it down. If, okay, we've got a little bit of 10-year in here, we've got a little bit of 12-year in here, we've got a little bit of 8-year. And what does that look like? Typically, it's what's the age of the bottle. So now that we're blending, to me, it's important to know kind of the average, which I find myself explaining that more and more. Average. What does that mean? Well, I mean, it's math.
Yeah. Now, when you do that, is that like, if you say the average age is 6, is that because you've got 4, 6, and 8, and you add the two together and divide by 3, or is it like 70% of it's 8 and some of it is 6 and some of it's 4, so you're going with the largest percentage of it being 8? You say it's average 8 years old. Like, how does that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a blend that's got some 23-year in it, and I'll be honest, it's going to have very little 23-year in it. And so if I'm blend that with some, 5-year, and then it's, the majority of it is the younger age. You certainly can't say, the average of 23 and 5 is, whatever. You've got to. So to me, it's so many parts this age, so many parts this age, and then you average it out how many parts there are. So it's the true, you factor in the ratios of that liquid that you have in there, and then if it's 10 parts 10-year, 1 part 13-year, then it's going to be closer to 10-year, right?
The saddest thing that's happened to me today is how long it took for me to figure out the average age of 5 and 23. Sorry, sidebar. But I must need.
Did you figure it out?
I think so, but I'm not going to talk about it.
So it's 14, right?
Yeah. It just took me a long time to get there. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
No wonder
that's
my
obviously...
daughter needed more help with math than I could give her last night.
And I think that's what people are looking for. They're like, oh, so you put a drop of 23-year in there? Does that mean that you're just No. It's truly the volume of each component.
I have some experience with this.
Really?
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like the guys at the Whiskey Fest, right? It's like the people that are there, and they first of all, the people that are interested in what you're doing, the people that are asking the questions, the people that want the details, they want the specifics. I know because I've been there and dealt with it forever, it can be super annoying. But you know what? It's a lot better than the alternative of them not giving a shit what you got going on. So, first of all, I go through this with my marketing team and our team all the time. I've done this for years. When we launched Kentucky Owl Batch 1, what's the age? Well, you know what? I don't exactly know. I know it's in that, what kind of age you want. It's got some 6-year-old stuff in it. It's got some 7-year-old stuff in it. It's got some 8-year-old stuff in it. You want me to give you an average? You want me to do, that's what's in it. Where did it come from? Well, I don't know. We bought it through a broker. They had scrubbed the barrel heads. I don't know. I knew that it was Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I was guessing that it was a, moderate rye mash bill based on the profile, but I don't know. We launched that rye. It is insane. That rye that we did, that batch 1 rye comes up in every conversation I have with any bourbon person ever. Where did it come from? Can you tell me? I'm going to blink once if this answer is correct. Blink twice if this is incorrect. It's, all the detail. I don't know. I don't know. The barrels that we got had been stored outside of the United States and came back in. I knew it was Kentucky straight rye whiskey with a 95.5 mash bill. I knew the lot dates. There were no markings on the barrels. We bought it through a broker. I don't know. I know you don't like that answer, but that's all I got.
That's it. Yeah.
And even now, with people are like with the 2XO blends, the tribute blend, what's the mash bill? Well, there are 2 different distillates in there with 2 different bourbon mash bills. One is a 35% rye, one is an 18% rye. They have different amounts of barley, and they also have different amounts of corn. It's about 80% of the high rye mash bill. It's about 20% of the low rye mash bill. Okay, what's the mash bill?
Right.
I don't know. I guess I could figure it out if I did some sort of. There's 2 mash bills in there. What's the age? Well, there's some 6-year-old, some 7-year-old, some 8-year-old. but I used barrels from 10 different lots, meaning 10 different, and so what's the age? Well, it's hard. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes you just want to say, hey, just trust what I'm doing, and other times I think people are, it's always been like that. It's always been, there are also the people that were always trying to catch you. Like, oh, I'm going to try to catch you doing something and I'm going to be, I'm going to expose you or, whatever.
Right.
It's like, it's not that simple. It's not as simple as, I wait till these barrels turn 6 years old. I dump them on the day they turn 6 years old, and I put them in a bottle, and I say it's exactly 6 years old.
Right.
We make 130,000 of the same mash bill every year, and the stuff that goes in this bottle is the exact same stuff that went in the bottle 6 months ago. It's the exact same stuff that went in the bottle 6 years ago, and it is what it is. It's not, the program's different,
Right.
but I generally understand that what you want, what we want, and what American what is that type of engagement. I mean, you want people interested in your product, and you want people to give a shit about what's going on because they're actively trying to learn more about what you're creating. And sometimes it's hard to go so as specific as people want, but also, you've got, I think with a lot of our products, a lot of the blends, I was very open about some of the things that, like batch, I can't remember, I think 7 of Kentucky Yow. I had a handful of barrels that were this like super old, very heavy, very very intense, and some of the weeded stuff that was still in there. But so it was like 10, 12, and 13-year-old. But I had this 5-year-old barrels that I absolutely loved, and they were the second stuff we ever had distilled for us. It was super fruity, spicy, light. We had a light, low entry proof on it, and I put that. It's what made the blend. It's what set it apart. It's what kind of took some of the, and the team is like, I don't know that we want to, can we just say that it's mostly 10, 12, and 13? I was like, no, that's stupid. Well, there's 5-year-old in it. Right. I'm not an age statement guy. I got, these 5-year-old barrels beat the brakes off the 13-year-old barrels.
Right.
It's an important part of the blend. We have to talk about that. We chose to talk about it in just it's a blend of 5, 10, 12, and 13-year-old stuff.
Right.
That's it.
Well, people know what they know. And, you get people that come up and they're very matter of fact. They're like, okay, where's your distillery? We don't have a distillery. Okay, so you get yours from Indiana then. That's, or, there's people that come up and say, oh, so you must have a distillery down in Kentucky. Why is that? Well, because all bourbon's made in Kentucky. And, it's about awareness and engagement. I think people love that engagement. They want to talk with a real person versus just look at a bottle and they want to get down to details, but there's really no wrong answer. They, once they taste it and have a conversation, I've seen people go from, almost adversarial. They approach with this kind of, here's what I like, and this is the only good stuff. And then after about 5 minutes conversation, they're, the most loyal fan, and they're, coming back for more. But I think, to kind of summarize, there's a lot of ways to do it. There's no, well, perhaps there is a wrong way as far as, just throwing stuff on a label and expecting people to
Yeah,
to
there are
get it.
laws around this stuff. So
There are, and that's
there's
just
a
it.
wrong way to do it if you kind of. skip
There's
that
definitely
part,
a wrong
you
way
know.
to do it, and that was kind of my where I had initially suggested we talk about. There's the minimum amount of information required by TTP, in order to get your labels approved, in order to get your formulas approved, if you need to go that route, and there. But then beyond that, there's full transparency. Here's that. Back to that open kimono thing. Look at all my stuff, and so, but you're gonna always. That takes us back to like episode 1 or 2. I remember your reaction to that.
I just threw up in my mouth
But-
a little bit.
But I think, and this is, I kind of find myself on this active campaign, if you will. That's what it seems like. Is that's what tastings and samplings are to me. You're kind of campaigning, because it's not just try this, try this, try this. People love it when the name behind the brand is there and engaging with people. I get that a lot. That hey, oh my gosh, wow, okay, so who does your blending? You do the blending, but do you just send your stuff off and then expect it to get packaged? And I'm a hands-on all the way through kind of guy, and
Especially with that open kimono.
Just stop talking.
I'm a hands-on guy through and through my open kimono.
Somebody call HR. I'm also the HR guy. But to wrap this up and take it full circle, to some people it's important. To some people it's not. And you will not always get the level of detail. If you're a detail person, that sometimes just doesn't exist. And sometimes you have to go with start with the taste. And I encourage people all the time, because you see on social media, especially, people ask, hey, I'm at the liquor store, and they show this picture of a shelf. What do I start with? Or, what's worth buying? Or is this good? And I tell people all the time, nobody else can tell you what's good to you. Nobody else can tell you how you need to drink whiskey. Drink it your way, and indulge in what you enjoy.
I think all that is yeah. I would my biggest comment, and when I have still clients who are talking about what they're doing, how they're going to do their, I think you owe it to the people who have bought or are interested in your product to give them as much information as you possibly can.
Yes.
A cloak and dagger type approach is not a successful tactic. It can get you, it can get you into a lot of trouble. I think being as specific about what you can say is very important. There are things you can't. I mean, I've got NDAs on both of the suppliers that we have for 2XO. Like they're ironclad. I go around telling people who's making this proprietary juice for us. Guess what they do? 1, they sue us, and 2, they take it away, and then I'm screwed. So there are things you can say, things you can't say. But I think being as open and honest is something, it's like the more vague you are, the more you're asking for trouble.
Right. Yeah. Honesty and transparency. That's
Specificity.
specificity.
Yes.
Transparency of your specificity.
Well,
Awesome. Good talk,
good talk.
as always.
Yes. Put your kimono back on and have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. We'll see you next time on Coffee Talk. Blending Bourbon.